We are these fields. We are these roots. We see the beauty in the everyday, with pride from where we came. We look ahead, to the places that pull us together, to the places that we call home. A new chapter begins now. Kern Schools Federal Credit Union is now Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your possibilities. Visit valleystrong.com/grow to learn more.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Kern High Network Football. I am Kenny Calvin, joined by my coach, Rick Van Horn, and producer-director, Dr. Julian Wilson, for Independence High School facing the South High Spartans. Yes, you heard it right, the Spartans. First time that has ever been said for a South High football team here in the 2021 fall season. As we get started, if it looks a little unfamiliar, we are at West High School because South High School is getting that upgrade to their stadium. So they will be playing on the road this fall for every game. But Coach Van Horn, great to see you. How you been doing, sir?
I've been doing good. You know, we got an 18-month vacation, you know, and now we're back in the saddle. School started Wednesday, so both these schools have been hectic, I'm sure, this whole week. These kids getting familiar with being back in class. And, you know, that's when you've been out of school for 18 weeks and all of a sudden you're back in the classroom. You know, you've got all your classmates next to you you haven't seen in person in 18 months. It's a big change. Big change. You know, everybody's excited to see their friends, excited to put that jersey on a Friday and come out and perform in front of a very nice crowd. We talked about how good it felt to see a full parking lot pulling up. That's right. Imagining where the cars will be parked when we were playing in this stadium, and it was about 10,000 people in here. But definitely feels good. We did have the short season opportunity in the spring where we were able to help out and provide some commentary for the 5 games that were played. But ultimately, we're back, and it's August. Yeah, you know, and it feels good. And it almost feels like we covered spring practice, much like the colleges had, and now we're back to a regular season, full 10-game season. We're hoping. So these guys didn't have much of an off season, but that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. You know, before we get started, we definitely want to thank the South High administration, Principal Connie Grumling, Assistant Principal Jose Porter, Assistant Principal Brian Smith, Dean Michael Horde, Athletic Director Dante Borodori, Activities Director Cecilia Polito, and as well as Stan Green and the Kern High School District Superintendents and our Valley Strong Credit Union sponsor. I'm ready for some action. Well, you know, these two teams March, into March 26th, they played each other in the very first game of the shortened season. Independence came out on top 20-17 and went on to win the rest of their games. Absolutely. You know, it's a D3 matchup. Independence went 3-1 in the spring. South High School went 4-1 in the spring. But like Coach said, Independence had that chip on their shoulder from coming out and beating South as they were the underdog, and nobody really expected them to be able to compete with a high-octane South High offense that had a phenomenal player in King Ellis. Yeah. But he's moved on, and we're going to see who's ready to step in his shoes tonight. Well, it's going to be, especially for the South High Spartans. Let me spit that out. Spartans. They lose King Ellis, Hassan Lopez, and Tyrone Wilson, who are all area players this year, or last year. On the other hand, Independence has 2 all-area players coming back. Wow. Tailback Evan Peaker and quarterback/athlete Landon Denmark. Wow. So replacing King Ellis, like you said, is a phenomenal chore that Coach Mills has to fill. Well, I did look on the South High roster earlier and saw that there was another Ellis, a young Prince Ellis, but it appears he's not on the roster that we have. But he may be one of those guys that steps up in the future. But there is a quarterback that I heard is very capable in Shane Carr down there for the South High Spartans.
And that's going to take some getting used to, ladies and gentlemen. What else is going to take some getting used to is trying to figure out what numbers these South High players are wearing, because I'm telling you, it's nearly impossible to pick out a great number on a powder blue jersey. But we're going to do the best we can tonight with Kenny Cow and Van Horn on the call. You know, so an exciting time. You know, everybody's nervous about how long the opportunity is going to last. I said, let's just enjoy the J and get ready for some football.
That's right. That's right. I see one guy I haven't seen in a while. He's dressed up in the stripes down there, refereeing tonight, Nathan Munson.
One of the greatest DBs of all time, former Trojan, if I'm not mistaken. And one of your former DBs with your Bakersfield Blitz, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right, yeah.
You know, so let's pause for the national anthem. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready for some football. Independence versus South High at West. Brought to you by Valley Strong Credit Union and the Kern High Network. Kenny Calvin and Rick Van Horn. Exciting week of opening day games. A couple that I know are happening on the other side of town. We got Centennial hosting Redwood.
Got East at Santa Maria.
We got BHS at Los Alamitos. A few other challenges going on, so Independence will return.
Actually, where we're at today, West High is at Shafter tonight.
Tyson Dozier and Shafter. I get to watch him next week. You know, I joke with his dad all the time. My wife's from Wasco. He's from Shafter. He says all these Wasco jokes every morning, and I steal them and piss my wife off. But I can't wait to watch Shafter next week. But we're in for a show tonight. South High set the kickoff. And we're off. Kick taken at the 25. Oh, and he's taken down with the clothesline style tackle. Great field position for Independence. They'll start off at the 37, and it'll be 1st and 10 heading south.
I was just checking out the roster for Independence, and it's in alphabetical order, not numbers, so we're going to have a – bear with us.
Well, hey, we all got to get the rust off. Looks like a trips open pistol formation set for Independence. Independence coming off a 3-1 spring season. And they're taking it to the air right away. Nice design and on the swing route. That's going to be a first down completion for about 14 yards. Make that 12 as he steps out of bounds, but how about that?
Tremaine Stocker, that's two touches in a row there.
And there's a tackle by Demarie Wofford.
We know that name, don't we?
Absolutely. Trips open set for Independence. We'll get some of these names and numbers for you. But they're coming out slinging, and he's going to keep it. And he looked like he has some room. One man to beat across the 30, across the 20. Taken down at the 4-yard line. Amazing.
Number 1, late on Denmark, escaping close to the goal line where he's brought down by number 24, Jeremy Jackson.
Talked about him before the game, returning all area kind of quarterback / athlete. He does all kinds of stuff for Independence.
Yeah, LaDon Denmark, the senior quarterback. And how about that speed getting up the field after he actually wanted to go with that quick slant, but South High actually did a great job of covering that up with that underneath backer. Now he's keeping it again. Very explosive.
Is that 21 for South? I couldn't tell. 21 or 24.
It will actually be 2nd and goal for the Independence Falcons. You know, I think the announcer is getting used to the Spartan name, too. He just wants to throw it out there, but the Falcons are on offense, and now they're in a shotgun double set. And I'd expect pressure on the inside. And that's going to be complete for a touchdown. Nice job extending the play by Denmark.
Like number 9, Jonathan Vigil.
Jonathan Vigil with the nice catch after Denmark extends the play. But how about Denmark? Explosive on that first drive. All him, basically.
Yeah. Big play, got outside the pocket, kept his composure, didn't look to run, which is a lot of times you see running quarterbacks, they look to run rather than to pass first. And he did a nice job.
Kick is up, and it's blocked. We'll see how that turns out later.
Emmanuel Banuelos.
Well, so, Coach, quick drive.
Well, like we told you, Independence just kind of reloaded. They've got some key players back from last year's 4-1 team. South High is the one that's got to fill a lot of holes, and we're going to find out here offensively in this next series if they did that or not.
Absolutely, and Independence, still has that chip on their shoulder because I got to tell you, last year, not a lot of people had Independence pegged as the team that they finished the spring as. And so to come out and see that kind of drive, you can tell that was a very efficient drive, but that was more of an attitude drive to let people know, hey, we weren't a fluke in the spring.
Yeah. And, there's 3 teams in this kind of in that second tier in Bakersfield. You've got Liberty, you got Bakersfield, you've got some other teams, but you've got Independence, you got South, and you got Highland right there knocking on the door to get up there with the big boys.
Absolutely. Some very famous names on that Independence Falcon alumni wall as well when you think about guys like Dale Pearson, all-time sack leader at Iowa State, drafted by the Green Bay Packers. He's now selling houses and making $1 million a year. But now we got South High, and he's still on his feet. Nice return. And one thing you know about South High, they're going to keep some athletes, and they get it out to some good field position at the 32-yard line for their first down.
A nice return by number 3, Prince Ellis of the Spartans.
And there's that name. I told you. I couldn't find his name on the roster because it's kind of funky, but one thing we know about the Ellis kids is that they're not afraid of going to that end zone all by themselves. They'll do it as much as they need to.
Well, you got King, Prince. What else you got in that family?
You got a few more. I might have to check with my boy Dion and see who else is under there. Read option. Amazing job by the Independence defensive line.
15 is Deshaun Brown with the quarterback keeper. He's brought down by number 2, Brian Flores.
Well, so we got Deshaun Brown as the starting quarterback. I talked about Shane Carr being a quarterback on the roster, but he's a young cat that's going to have to wait his turn as Deshaun Brown gets the carries as a senior. And they're going with a little up-tempo offense, shotgun spread. That's handed off on the zone read. And how about that pursuit?
This time to carry to number 22, Devontae Garrett. He's tackled by number 8, Damian Garcia.
Well, Deshaun Brown, who's a senior this year, he was more of a receiver last year, of course, because King Ellis was the quarterback. Offense looks much the same, but, you know, when you've got a different trigger man in there, King Ellis made things happen a little faster than what we've seen so far.
Absolutely. Shotgun spread set for South, and we're going to see our first pass for them, and that's about 3rd and 7. Oh, he's still on his feet. And he's going to be taken out short prior to the 40-yard line.
Out of the pocket, he's pushed out of bounds by number 27, Jay Blackett.
Great job by the Independence defense.
2 yards short of the first down.
And I seriously doubt if we're going to see South High go for it.
That's a long 4 there.
That's a long 4.
I thought he got a little closer, but I guess not. It looks like South High's going to punt. Got to give a shout out to my boy Vince and Megan, who's watching the game from Whittier, California.
Nice. What's up, Vince?
He's in the middle of practice. He coaches at Glendale Junior College.
Nice. I got a Glendale story for you later on, Coach, as my big cousin Toot Heron comes up the steps. That's going to be taken down and marked dead at the 26. You know, I had my cousin Toot Heron. He thinks because he's my cousin, he can come up here and steal our roster. Like, hey, we need these. We're working. It's going to be 1st and 10 for Independence, and I'm telling you, for South High, one of the things that we saw last year is that their offense was so powerful, their defense didn't have to put a lot of work in.
Yeah.
Tonight, it's on them early because I don't know if you want to go down 14-0 on an offense that looked that well last drive.
Yeah. That's exactly right. You know, you have Independence comes into this game ranked 34th in the Valley, and South High comes in ranked 41st in the Valley.
And right away you got Independence still coming out with their gunslinger, and he's looking special, making people move, making something out of nothing, getting it back to positive yardage. But how about LaDon Denmark so far? Back there looking a little shifty. Kyler Murray is back there.
You know, the thing with when you play a quarterback like Denmark, South High's been playing a lot of man coverage so far, which is eventually is going to leave some holes for Denmark to make some big plays like he did down here for that 30-yard run.
Absolutely. Dive option. Oh, bounce back outside. Nice vision by the running back, but amazing pursuit and tackle. And I believe that was.
Number 4, Evan Beaker with the carry. He's met by a blockade of Spartans. Number 12, Demaria Wofford.
Oh, Demaria Wofford. He's all over the place already, making a name for himself as he changes his family culture and goes down to the south side.
He's wearing that number 12, which is a little different. Seeing a Wofford and number 12 there.
Double digits, huh? Might be the first time ever.
His dad, James Wofford, former Bakersfield driller, UNLV Rebel, and Minnesota Viking.
Oh, and now we got a strike, and he got a step, and he
Oh.
dropped it. Oh, amazing pass, but it was dropped.
That pass falls incomplete, intended for number 13, DeMonte Moten.
Okay, and I've told you, ladies and gentlemen, or Coach told you that our rosters are in alphabetical order, not numerical order. So it's taking us a while, but that catch or drop was by DeMonte Moten. But that was an amazing pass by LaDon Denmark.
Yeah.
He's showing me some things. He's had the best 2 drives I've ever seen as a quarterback at this level so far. Nonetheless, incomplete, 4th down. And maybe this is the strike that South High needs, because one thing you know about South High, they keep some athletes. Go look in the history books. You had guys like Ty Thatch.
Yeah.
You had guys like Wenzel Lynn, Rodney Wright, Curtis McKinney, so on. Special outside players on the edge. Oh, and he gets it off. That's going to be taken at the 40. Taken down immediately by number 2.
South High's going to
Ryan
have great
Flores.
field position here on about the 35.
Number 9,
Almost a horse collar there
No, that's
on
that's
Independence.
That's the second clothesline tackle I've seen, and I'll
Yeah.
tell you what that is. That's people excited to get back out here. I love it.
down 6.
1st and 10 with some amazing field position for South High, and this will be a good opportunity for us to see what the offense looks like in a fair part of the field where they can try to take some shots. Double set, jet motion, and that's going to be jet sweep, and he's going too far outside, and he tries to stick the foot in the ground and get up the field, but that's nothing.
Gonzalez on the jet sweep, wrapped up by number 8, Demian Garcia. No gain on the play.
I kind of call the South High offense kind of a flash and dash. So you're going to see a lot of fly sweep. You're going to see a lot of quarterback run out of these guys. They're kind of built in because King Ellis ran the offense for two and a half years. Before that, they were very quarterback driven, where they almost put their best athlete at quarterback and let him do his thing.
2nd and 12. Trips open set, and we got movement. That's going to be a false start on South High, and that's one of the things that you don't want to do when you get some amazing field position.
Be 2nd down and 15.
And that'll be a dead ball foul.
Well, unlike last year when we did some games where by this time in the game, middle of the first quarter, there would have been 15 flags already. That's only the first one right there.
That's a great point, Coach. I mean, just thinking about how we had to retrain our eyes to be a little less critical on officials and offenses, because it's just hard to get guys together in a shortened season. 2nd and 16. Quarterback scrambles, and he finds a man. That's caught at the 32-yard line.
That pass completed to number 12, Demario Wofford.
Actually, a nice play by Deshaun Brown there. As you know, he had the corner there. Could have ran,
3rd down and reasonable.
but as a true quarterback was looking to pass first rather than run.
And Coach, you hit the nail on the head earlier when you talked about how good it is to see young quarterbacks making good, conscious decisions to get the ball down the field instead of being selfish and running. Shotgun double set, and this is going to be a 3rd and about 7. And that's a nice counter play, but that's amazing pursuit by the defensive line and linebackers of Independence, because there was no blocking out there, all white jerseys.
Looked like
Number 5, Gavin Hoyt, making it 4th down and 5 from the 30-yard line at the Falcons.
4th down and 5. You expect South High to go for it here. And they will. 2 deep safety look for Independence. Corner's playing a little deep. I would tighten up if I were them. QB scrambles. And he has a man. Oh, and it's too high, and that's going to be incomplete. You had a man wide open in the end zone. But that's going to be a turnover on downs for the South High Rebels. Independence Falcons defense staying strong. 1st and 10 Falcons.
I think one of the changes you're going to see in high school football, especially around here, and especially early in the season, is teams going for it on 4th down, especially 4th and short. There are a lot of teams nowadays. That's kind of the fad now, is to keep your offense out there and go for it.
Absolutely. I was watching preseason football last night, and the commentator said the exact same thing. You know, we get too used to being programmed to what people think you should do.
Right.
You're going to see a lot more chances being taken because, hey, people are thinking, hey, we might not have a season next year.
Yeah. Well, you look at it, you know, a 4th and 2 is made 60% of the time.
Right. Delay of game.
You know, we were talking about the rankings, and this is going to kind of hit you and I a little harder to swallow than most. If you look at the 26th ranked team in the Valley.
Our drillers sitting at number 26. You know, this will be the first time that we've said that. We got to be careful too, Coach. People don't like us talking about how we drillered out when we're doing these other games. We might have the trolls after us.
Well, that's just football in Kern County, but I can't remember. I don't think we could count that high back in the day.
Right.
You know, we didn't need to.
We definitely didn't need to look anywhere past number 2. So that first play was a little bit of dive option action. Went for no gain. It's going to remain 2nd and 15 with a trips open set. But I definitely got to tell you, I love the action that I'm seeing out of the Independence offense. Nice flow and speed. And now you got Denmark with another dart for the first down. 16-yard pass complete. Oh, but we do got some yellow laundry down here about the 27-yard line.
Looked like an illegal receiver downfield. I think that's what's going to be. Illegal receiver downfield.
Coach been doing this for a long time. He sees it before it happens often, and that's exactly what it is.
The one thing I've been impressed with Denmark is, you know, I thought he was just an athlete back there. Going to run around, you know, run it more than he threw it, but he's actually back there looking like a quarterback.
He's definitely doing a great job keeping his eyes downfield, and he's made some quality throws in some traffic already. I like what I'm seeing. Shotgun pistol formation. Double set. 2 deep safety for the Spartans. They almost got me with a rebel right there. And they go with the delay, and that's going to be a short 1-yard gain trying to get some of that lost yardage back, and they're right back where they started from. It's going to be about 3rd and 17. Pistol double set for Denmark. Oh, and he's going through the seam, and it's complete. It's going to be shorter the first down, about 3 yards.
Number 4, Evan Beaker with the catch. Brought down by number 21, Brian Ochoa.
And it looks like they're going to go ahead and punt, and that's our first Ochoa sighting.
Brought Peaker, who was at tailback, brought him right up the middle, tried to split the safeties because they were in that cover 2 you talked about, and actually hit him down the seam. Peaker made a good catch and a good throw.
And great job by the South High defense. We talked about how it's going to be important for them to try to step up when the offense hasn't clicked. You know, you got a lot of new pieces. Rugby-style kick, and that's a nice one. Uh-oh. He did call for a fair catch, so he can't advance that, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for the South High Spartans. 2 42 remaining to play in the first quarter. Kenny Calvin and Rick Van Horn. We want to thank the South High administration as well as Stan Green and the Kern High School superintendents, Valley Strong Credit Union, and the best producer director in the business, Dr. Julian Wilson. We might see if we can get him on the mic. Independence up 6-0. South High looking to gain some momentum after a great defensive stand. Now they're coming out in that shotgun double set against a single high safety.
Nice block by 40, looks like 48 there by South High. Another fly sweep. You know, South High's got a 4-game winning streak. They haven't lost since March of last year.
Wow.
They lost their first game to Independence, 20-17, but then they reeled off 4 straight. That includes a win over Highland that you and I did.
Absolutely.
And we saw King Ellis score 6 touchdowns.
Man, talk about a phenomenal game. Heartbreaker for some of those Highland kids, but it was probably one of the funnest games I've ever called, seeing one man have such an outstanding game. And we called it. Flood right. Quarterback extending the play, and it looks like it was complete. Nice pass and catch. And that's going to be.
They're going to give it to him.
Yeah, that was a nice grab. Great job directing traffic as well for Deshaun Brown. And that's the first quality play that we've seen from South High down the field.
Yeah. Both these quarterbacks are handling themselves like seasoned quarterbacks.
Very mature. Well, we do got 2 seniors. That's a good thing. 1st and 10. Trips open set. And Brown's going to keep it, but I tell you what, one thing I'm impressed with already is the movement and penetration of this Independence defensive line.
That play right there over the last 2 years for South High, kind of a counter tray, H tray, where they pull it guard and the tackle. That play right there probably gained them 1,000 yards over the last 2 seasons because of King Ellis.
I agree.
Now you've got somebody different in there.
Well, we're going to see exactly what transpires from a standpoint of coaches being frustrated with what's working and what's not working early in that first quarter. So now they're going with that swing route, flash and dash. Oh, and he's still on his feet. As Coach said, we're going to see a lot of things on the edge, and that was a great catch on that swing route.
And that's what the preseason is all about, is finding out what Deshaun Brown does well and what he doesn't do well, you know.
And as coaches, you definitely want to be patient and not force him into having to make too many tough decisions early. So a lot of safe throws on the outside.
Yeah.
You know, some quick slants. If it's not there, keep it and pull it down. And some jet sweeps. As you see, we got another one. Flash and dash, as Coach said, but this is what they've been known for and have been very successful doing over the last few years. Well, I'll say over the last few decades. Garcia on the tackle. It's our first time hearing his name tonight, but that's a six-yard gain. And that will be the end of the first quarter. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead and take a break here on Kern Network and be right back. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are at West High for Independence versus South. Kenny Calvin and Rick Van Horn, along with Dr. Julian Wilson. Kern High Network football. Independence up 6-0. They missed the extra point. Has moved the ball very well. South High trying to return the favor with some of their best field position of the first half. 2nd and 6. And as we say that, they back themselves up.
False start will make it 2nd down and 11 for the Spartans.
And, you know, that works. That's expected. Early in the season, you're going to have some cheap penalties, offsides, illegal procedures, some stuff like that. But you want to minimize that as much as you can.
Definitely. And new quarterback takes some getting used to.
Yeah.
You know, no matter how long the backup's been there. Brown keeps it, and he has a lane. Nice block on the edge. Oh, and he's still carrying him. Amazing block by Kobe Heron on the outside, springing him on the right side. Also some amazing blocking by the receiver down the field as well.
Yeah, it was. Deshaun Brown.
Absolutely. And it gets back to the point of what you talked about, Coach. Not overcomplicating things. Do what you do well. Read option, short pass, intermediate passing game, and keeping it to make things happen on the outside when you got Big Heron blocking for you. Oh, and now they're going with the fade. 1-on-1, and it's caught, and he mossed him. And that's going to be.
I don't think he got in. It looks like he's going to be on about the 6-inch line.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Amazing catch. That looked like Bryson Carson on the catch, but how about that pass by Brown, putting it right where it needed to be?
That's right. And the great catch. Went up, out-jumped 2 defenders. Safety got there late.
Coaches said that sound like they said Shane Carr on the catch. Marcel Avery on the catch. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we told you that these great numbers on the powder blue jerseys were going to be tough, but Marcel Avery, one of our track champions, and also the son of one of my relatives. We got some extra eyes up here helping us out. But amazing catch. 1st and goal on the 1-yard line, putting South High in scoring position.
Just like you talked about, Coach Mills has always done a great job putting the ball in his best players' hands.
Absolutely.
And that's what you got to do. If I'm going to get beat, I'm going to get beat with the ball in my best players' hands.
Absolutely. South High is going to take a timeout. Notice how I keep saying South High instead of the Spartans because I keep almost saying Rebels. But to your point, Coach, amazing job knowing what works for you, not overcomplicating things. I mean, it's simple. 3-step drop, fade, 50-50 ball. Who wants it more? And Avery comes down with an amazing catch.
Yeah. And like you said, it's not rocket science, especially down here at the goal line. Give that little 13-ounce pigskin to your best player.
Absolutely. You know, but some people may say, why do you call a timeout? Well, hey, if you got problems getting lined up, the last thing you want to do is get a delay of game and back up 5 yards when you knocking on the door.
Yeah.
Right there knocking on the door, I should say. So, and you can't take the timeouts with you into the locker room.
That's right.
You
right.
Better use them when they count. 1st and goal from the 2. South High in a heavy set. Deshaun Brown, shotgun. And they go jet sweep, and that's going to be in for the touchdown, Spartans. First time we've said that ever. And if you like that last name, you better get used to it because I'll tell you what, something about that Ellis bloodline, they know how to find the end zone.
Yeah, I know it.
10-19 remaining to play. South High Spartans lining up for the PAT, which is big based on Independence missing theirs, and now you feel that momentum shift a bit. And there's some movement. It's going to be false start. Oh, no, dead ball encroachment. Independence, a little frisky on the opposite side. Oh, and it looks like the offense is coming back out here. South High looking like they may be deciding to go for two now that
they've moved it up a yard and a half, so they've got they're on the yard and a half here. Look for Deshaun Brown here.
Yeah, because it goes back to the point that you said. You don't want to overcomplicate things when you're down this close.
Yeah.
I probably would still kick it just to take that lead, but we'll see what happens.
Deshaun Brown.
But, hey, that's why I'm in the booth and not on the sideline. Conversion is good. The Spartans, with their first lead of the year, with a new name, and from what I heard they got some new jerseys coming, Coach.
I don't know, but it looks like the same jerseys from a long time ago. Brand new, but same colors and everything.
Well, I think in the future we got a new design coming. A little birdie told me that they might be going with a new design. I'm not going to let the cat out the bag, but when it comes out, I think everybody might be a little impressed with the new school South High Spartan jerseys. $10-19 to play. South High Spartans up 8-6.
Bad thing about it, they're going to have to break them out on the road this year because all their games are going to be on the road.
Right.
They're getting a remodelization of their stadium, which is the high school district kind of picks a school every year to redo the stadium. Foothill just completed theirs and looks real nice, and now South High's turn.
And it's well-deserved, too. You know, you think about all the great alumni that they've had. We talked about some of them earlier. You know, it's only fair for the wealth to be distributed evenly. Squib kick taken at the 27. Oh, and he had one little lane and one man to beat, and he would have been out of there, but nonetheless taken down at the 36, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Independence Falcons. Brian Ochoa. Something about hearing the name Ochoa in a South High jersey that kind of gives you that nostalgia and goosebumps. One of the toughest players I ever played against, Troy Ochoa, hands down. South High in a 40 even front. Nope, they're actually moving down to a 50. Single high safety. Trips open set, pistol formation for Independence. And we'll see if Denmark can get back to his good graces. And they go option. He makes the right decision. Oh, and we got some extracurricular activity out here with a flag.
We got a flag coming from the South High sideline.
Emmanuel Banuelos on the tackle. Let's see what this flag is, ladies and gentlemen. I would assume it's holding on a wide receiver because they always held me. Sideline warning.
We've got a score coming in from Los Angeles. Los Alamitos 37, Bakersfield High 9.
Wow.
Second quarter.
Wow. Woo. Coach Sheehy making his debut on the offensive side as the coordinator under Coach Stewart. I don't know much about Los Alamitos, but I know they wouldn't have did that to us in '94. 2nd and 13 for Independence. Shotgun double set. Denmark Back to pass, and a wheel route.
Oh,
It's popped up. Good defense.
Hit the defender right in the back of the head.
You know, one thing we say, if you can't turn around and make a play on the ball, at least be in the flight of the ball by your position. And that's a great job. Man standing to my left taught me that. 3rd and 8, and you see some of the well-oiled machine that came out in the first quarter kind of dissipating from the Falcons side of the ball because they haven't been able to get much going, Coach.
And South High looks a lot like last spring. You know, they've got some athletes all over the field. They've got some size up front. They've got some guys in the secondary that can line up and play some man, and they're tackling well.
They definitely are exceeding expectations. You know, we put a lot of pressure on them as we get the dead ball. We got a timeout, South High. We'll take a quick break and come back and talk about more South High defense right after this. And we are back. Kern High Network football, Independence versus South at West. If you're wondering why, South High is under a current remodel, and they will play all their games on the road. 3rd and 7, trips open set for Denmark. And they got a screen, and that looks nice. Oh, we got holding on the outside. And that's going to come back and destroy a nice play drawn up by Coach Tyler Shahabel. And we got a hold on the outside. Holding against the Falcons. We saw that a mile away.
Yeah. And that was called early, and it looked like South High may have shifted gears on that once they saw the flag come out.
The catch, nonetheless, was made by Evan Peaker. He's still going to use that for his highlight film, I guarantee. Yeah. So that's going to be about 3rd and. Okay, it's going to be about 3rd and 17.
It's one thing you don't want to be is you don't want to be that receiver that you're out of the play and you get a holding call and brings back a touchdown.
Right.
Don't be that guy.
Right, don't be that guy, especially when you play for teams like ours because we didn't throw it much. You want it to be in as much as possible. Trips open set. Flood pattern to the right, and that's a nice ball.
Nice ball.
Thrown by Denmark. Catch is made, and they'll get right back to the original previous line of scrimmage. Independence stymieing on out. This will be their 3rd straight punt, if I'm not mistaken. 9:23 to play. South High up 8 after converting on a 2-point conversion. And a nice jump ball pass to the 2-yard line to Avery from Deshaun Brown. And now we're going to have an illegal substitution. Some confusion out there as they snap the ball. Getting that little quick practice snap, but that's going to be a legal substitution for the Falcons.
That's going to bring it back, and they're still going to have to punt it. You know, South High, Independence has been doing the rugby punt where the punter will roll out to his right, and South High's been close the last 2 times to blocking it.
Yes, they have. You know, we expect that rugby kick to be faked one time before this night is over. And they're rolling right into pressure, and that's almost blocked again. Nice job by the gunner. And that's going to be 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line for South High. But I'll tell you what, South High's momentum from their defensive side of the football is what changed this game, Coach.
That's right. Other than that first drive, when Independence looked good coming out of the box, they've shut down Independence for a quarter and a half.
Absolutely, and the way Independence came out in that first drive, I thought it was probably going to be a long night for South High, but ultimately, great job finding what works, what doesn't work, making some adjustments, and they've played lights out in the last 3 drives.
Independence is a senior-heavy team. Over half their team are seniors.
You know, we talked about how well they performed last year. Let's talk about what they got coming up next. They're at Paso Robles on the 27th. They go to see Centennial on the 3rd. And then they have Stockdale on the 10th. So, not sure what Paso Robles looks like, but ultimately, 2 out of 3 of those games are going to be pretty tough. So, you definitely want to try to get out of here with a nice effort. Bobble snap. Luckily taken.
Well, they got an offside, made it 1st and 5. Now they're going to have about a 2nd and 3 here. But it looks like Independence is picking up their schedule a little bit, a little tougher preseason. You know, last year they typically would play East Bakersfield West, Highland North. But what you said is they're stepping up their game.
Yeah, I mean, and after you have a spring like you had, and you know you earn some bragging rights the right way, why not?
Yeah.
Shotgun double set. They go with the quick screen. That's a horrible ball. And that's the tough thing about throwing on 2nd down. When you have an opportunity to go ahead and pound it and get that 1st down and keep those chains moving, because now you put yourself in a position for a 3rd and long. That's a long 3.
Yeah. And what you call that 2nd and what they had was a 2nd and long 3, kind of a throwaway down. Pass, run, whatever you want to do, because now you're 3rd and short. Very manageable.
Very manageable, very manageable, especially with the offensive line playing as well as they have the last few drives. Oh, we got Brown on the keeper. Oh, and great job by that defensive line. And just like we talked about, throwing that screen pass comes back to haunt you. And Independence defensive line is playing a very nice game in this first half.
Yeah.
And you're not wanting to go for it right now on this end of the field. But, hey, like I said, I'm retired from coaching. I just talked the game now.
Well, you might see some kind of long count here because they get an offside here. We'll give them a 1st down.
Definitely a good opportunity. And that's exactly what we're seeing. That's why they pay him the big bucks.
All right,
Coach Van Horn called it.
Looking for a long count.
Right, but I don't understand the timeout, though, Coach, unless you're about to go for it here. You know, you kind of probably should just go ahead and take that delay.
Take that delay and keep trying.
We'll see. 4th and about 4, and like we said, South High runs their punt team out, and you basically waste the timeout with 7 minutes remaining to play in the 2nd quarter. And I believe that may have been their last one. Fourth and 4. Return man for the Falcons back deep at the 30. And that's a nice high punt. Let's see if he has some guts and catches that. It's a short one. And that's going to be down at the 37-yard line. Independence trailing South High 8-6. Special thanks to our sponsor at Valley Strong, the Kern High Network, superintendents, Stan Green, and the South High administration for tonight's game.
You know, one guy we haven't seen from Independence, we saw him get a couple touches early on in the game, is number 22, T.J. Stalker, a junior, number 22 for Independence. So they've got back to their all-area running back, Peaker. But 22 looked like he is a guy that's going to touch the ball quite a bit this year.
Yeah, we haven't seen Peaker since that first drive, and he was very efficient. Actually helped lead them to that first score. Pistol double set. Denmark slinging it. Oh, and that's great D out there by that corner.
Oh, we got a flag.
Oh, that looked like great defense. Nonetheless, might have got him for the hold on the bottom of the jersey. that extra audio you hear is from one of the coaches on the booth up top for Independence, or for South High, I should say, disagreeing with that PI, and I think I'm going to have to agree with him.
And if the DB could just turn his head and look for the ball, probably wouldn't have been called PI. When you sit there and never look for the ball, you get a lot more PIs than you do when you look for the ball.
Absolutely. Got to act like you want it, like that running back just did, plowing down on the dive. Nice, hard run. And Denmark trying to get back to the good graces of what put him in a position to get that score earlier.
Uh-oh, is this Deshaun Brown hobbling off?
Oh, man, and you got Deshaun Brown.
I think it's just a cramp, though.
Yep. Early August game. Read option. Oh, and Peaker is running hard, but we got a hold on the inside. But he's definitely trying to earn his keep.
Number 4, Evan Peaker, is the flag on the play.
That was a 2nd and 4, but that's going to come back on the holding call. Falcons offensive line stubbing their toe as they just converted on a nice 2nd down run to try to go dig into this 2-point lead, but nonetheless, South High's defense continuing to play tough football inside, Coach.
Yeah, and it looks like Independence might have changed their motive of operation here, going right at South High.
Right, and go back after that fade again, and you got to wonder how many times you're going to go back to the same well. They haven't really even tried to attack this side of the field.
That's true.
And this is actually the wide side of the field. One thing you want to do when you're throwing a fade is kind of give your receiver an opportunity to have some field to work with.
That's right.
You know, because we, as DBs, use the sideline as an extra defender.
And it's a pretty good one at that. Well, hopefully Deshaun Brown can come back in. You know how cramps are. Once you get them, it's tough to get rid of them.
Absolutely. Oh, and they go with the dive to Peaker, and that's an amazing call. And Peaker gets the first down on a 3rd and 13, 3rd and 14. Amazing call.
Coach, the last 4 plays have went right up that A-gap.
Yes.
They found a chink in the armor in South High's armor there, and they're going right at it.
Well, you talked about, you know, they're changing their operation, and they're going right back inside. Oh, but you got Denmark with the keeper, and he's still on his feet running hard. Denmark. About 4 extra yards after the carry.
That's going to bring up about a 2nd and 3. This is the best field position they've had since that first drive of the first quarter.
And right when we start pumping up the South High defense, it seems like they find a couple of holes on the independent side to attack. And, you know, those big defensive linemen, if you don't rotate them out every now and then, they start to get winded. Second and short, and this will be a great opportunity for some of that play action.
Yeah, it's kind of we talked about a throwaway play.
And here it comes. Oh!
Oh!
Whoa! And he's taken down hard by the South High pursuit. Wow. Emmanuel Banuelos is having a fantastic game tonight.
I think he's the one that blocked the extra point.
Wow, 2nd and 2. And you try that play action pass that we called for, but South High was ready for it. They brought the house and made up for it. And now it's 3rd and 12. How about that? I guess they heard us saying they slacking. 5:07 to play in the first quarter. South High holding on to a 2-point lead over the Independence Falcons. Kenny Calvin and Rick Van Horn. Got Dr. Julian Wilson on the board. I got my big cousin Toot bodyguard to the left. His son is doing a fantastic job on that South High offensive line playing right tackle. His huge block is what eventually led to them getting into the position to throw that next fade to Avery, which led to their first touchdown. So it's good to see some new names stepping up, because I tell you, last time me and Coach Van Horn did a South High game, all we talked about was King Ellis and 7 touchdowns. 3rd and 13 for the Falcons. This is a huge 3rd down conversion, because if you don't get this, I'm not sure you want to go for a 4th and 14 from the 37-yard line.
Well, you had second and 3. Decided to go for the home run, and he held the ball a little long. Now you're in a 3rd and 12.
And there's that play action, and they're going, oh, and he has a step, but the ball is just a little late. And did he catch that? No, he didn't. That's incomplete. Ball just hung up in the air a little long. If that was on the line, that may have been a touchdown. Nonetheless, great job by the DB fighting back with that makeup speed.
4th down for the Falcons.
South High safety's got to do a little better job on that deep ball, you know, the fade. You've got to cover 2 over there, and that's the safety's job to get on top. And Independence has got behind him a couple times already.
Absolutely, and they're in that 2 deep safety again, and now they look like they're dropping one down, and they're coming. Oh, but when you come, you better be ready to contain. And that is going to be turnover on downs. How about the South High defense with another nice stance? And they're stepping up to the plate, Coach. Demarie Wofford is everywhere today. I want to say that may be his 5th tackle of the night in the first half.
The Spartan offense will take over with the ball on their own 26-yard line with 4:53 remaining in the first half.
4:53 remaining to play. South High looking to capitalize on this lead. Sudden change. Do you try something here, Coach? Do you try to take a shot, or do you just go what's working?
If you're South High, you got to get a 4-minute offense. You got to put a pretty good drive together, get some momentum going into that halftime. Don't give the ball back to Independence, because whoever scores last before that first half, they've got the advantage coming out.
I agree.
In that 3rd quarter.
That safety was pretty dang deep for Independence. I want to say he's about 16, 17 yards deep. You usually don't want to try to test him over the top when he's that deep as a safety. It looks like they were expecting a little bit of what I was looking for.
If Independence can get a 3-and-out here, they're going to have plenty of time left on the clock to get a score.
Right, and then from this formation, it looks like South High is picking up on what you talked about and trying to get this clock moving with this lead that they have.
Yeah.
Naked QB counter. Goes for a couple yards. And we finally do see Shane Carr at the quarterback position. Maybe those cramps are taking effect. 4:28 remaining to play. South High doing a good job of game management style football. It's one of the things that made them successful. When they aren't able to get into the end zone, they tried their best to keep the other offense on the sideline running the football, and they go with that jet sweep. And nice move getting his foot into the ground for about a 7-yard gain.
Big play for both sides of the ball here. Independence needs to stop. South High needs a first down. So you're going to have about a 3rd and 3.
3rd and 3. Huge first down. South High's offense has done very well pushing the pile, but we've seen Independence defensive line get some penetration. They got some penetration last drive, so I'm not sure what I expect out of this play call here.
Well, the good thing for South High, the clock's been running this whole time.
You got Brown on the keeper. Oh, and that's close. It looks like he made it, huh?
I think he made it. First down.
Huge first down, and like we said, just getting in between that guard and tackle and pounding the feet. Amazing job by South High. That may be the biggest first down of the game for them so far.
I think you're right.
And I was told that Shane Carr would have an impact in this game from the quarterback position. Didn't know how it was going to be, but it's good to see him getting in there and getting some snaps. Scrambling, a lot of time, takes it inside. Oh, and he's across the 50. What? Oh, nice tackle at the 40.
And that's a Spartan first down.
Nice run there. Now that's the difference between Deshaun Brown. Now, when Deshaun Brown came out of the pocket, he looked to pass. Shane's looking to run.
You saw Shane. He had that trot. he had that trot in his step, and he just went ahead and put that foot in the ground and took off.
That ball was glued to his hand. It wasn't coming out.
Amazing job. But like Coach said, he want his name in the paper. 1st and 10 for South High, and that was an amazing scramble.
So I see Deshaun ran on the field, or he's off the field now.
It's amazing how quick those cramps go away when you see your backup have a couple of good plays. And now we got a flag. And that's going to be
illegal participation.
Yes. You know, got to get guys lined up after big plays. That's one of those things that give Coach this gray hair that he's sporting over here. And I've dyed mine so you don't see it as much. But when you have a huge play in a game-changing momentum,
get back up on the ball and
you
go.
You got to get going.
You got them on their heels. Well, you're going to see later on, these two, Shane Carr and Deshaun Brown, you need them on the field at the same time.
Absolutely. Shane drops back. He has a man wide open, and that's going to be touchdown Spartans.
What a throw by Shane Carr.
Amazing throw by Shane Carr. And Demarie Wofford shining on both sides of the ball, but blown coverage apparently.
Yeah, because he was wide open.
But that ball was right where it needed to be.
Right on the money.
Pretty as it gets. Shane Carr with his first touchdown of his varsity career.
And Wofford's first touchdown as a Spartan.
Wow. Wow, so we have Independence coming out smoking. First drive was fantastic. And all of a sudden, they're down 14-6 with an extra point to go. And now that's going to be 15-6. Putting the Spartans up 9. Amazing job by South High being resilient and continuing to pound the football until they found an opportunity in the passing game to stretch the field as those safeties kept creeping up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing Coach Mills may have wanted to wait a little bit. Scored with 1:36 left on the clock, so that's going to give Independence just a glimmer of hope and time to get something going.
Definitely. You know, and shout out to Coach Mills. You know, we talked about, you know, the coaching carousel and how things have worked for other coaches and what's to be expected. Great job seeing him get his guys ready to get back going after a good spring football season.
Yeah.
15-6, 1:36 remaining to play in the first half. King Calvin, Rick Van Horn, two of the Central Section's all-time leading interception getters. Look it up.
You're going to see maybe a squib kick. I wouldn't kick it deep. That might be your best bet right there. Give them the ball in the 35. They've got Stalker back there, and they've got some kids back there, Independence does, that can take it to the house. So.
Absolutely, and Stalker's been chomping at the bit to get that ball back. It seems like, you know, they've went a different direction since that first quarter, and that's kind of where their success was, you know, kind of pounding it with him and a little bit of play action and RPOs off of him and Denmark. But I guess South High did a great job of figuring it out because they haven't went back to it in a while.
And we really haven't seen a great passing game out of Independence yet. You know, they've looked good in spots, but they really haven't consistently moved the ball throwing it.
And they've stayed in that trips open set a lot with Peaker in the backfield.
Yeah. You might see us. Oh!
Oh! Amazing job breaking on the ball by the defensive back. And I'm going to say this.
Number 12, Wofford.
DeMaurier playing lights out.
Yeah.
But, Coach, correct me if I'm wrong. Haven't we seen that flood route probably about 6 times tonight in this first half? You keep throwing those shallow outs, one of those are going to go to the house.
I got a feeling certain dad's going to have him watching film tonight saying, that's got to be 6 the other way. You got to catch that interception.
Well, we may see the best Wofford DB we've ever seen because I don't know if any of those other ones ever had to play any defense.
You're going to see a screen. South High had a perfect – I think South High knew that was coming. They had number 11 sitting right out there in that weak flat just waiting for that screen.
Yeah, nice job. One of the things you know are coming in short 2-minute offenses.
Independence was a play late on that screen because before they went trips away, South High was really heavy on the trip side. Nobody over here up for that screen, and they were play late on that.
They go with another quick out, and that's going to be wrapped up quickly, and I don't know if he got the first down. He's right at the sticks. And it sounds like the coach upstairs said he's short half a yard. Amazing pursuit.
47 seconds left. I think you're going to see him go for it. And I think if they don't make it, I think you're going to see South High take some shots.
Absolutely.
In the end zone.
47 seconds remaining. It'll be 4th down.
And here's a nice opportunity for Independence to try to use that snap count to get an over-aggressive South High defensive line to jump.
Got a score from Centennial and Redwood, 14-14 at half.
Wow, nice job. Coach Starrett and Centennial battling a nice Redwood team. Their quarterback, son of my former teammate Josh Manning, looked pretty good in the scrimmage last week. Had somewhat of a round robin where multiple guys from our broadcast team had an opportunity to share the air. Vance Palm, myself, and Coach Rich Cornford spent the day in the booth. Oh, and they got the first down.
He's good at it.
Oh, and the ball is loose, and South High recovers it. South High with the strip after they already had the first down. And now it's going to be a huge turnover. And South High Spartans with an opportunity to put more points on the board. And after you have the first down, just get down, son. Wow.
The Spartans will take over with the ball on their 44-yard
39 seconds. You're going to see South High take some shots here.
Heartbreaking turnover. You get the first down on a fourth down. You try to get some extra yards around the edge, and out comes the ball. That may cost you the game.
That's right.
First and 10 for the Spartans. You almost got me.
Here he comes. He's good.
Number 9, Shane Carr, carrying it out of the pocket, brought down by number
I think South High is a man short on there. They were a man short on that play. Wofford comes in the game. They've got to hurry. Oh, he takes a knee right off the bat there. That was the first time I've seen that.
All right, because I think I would have tried to go for that Hail Mary with 4 seconds left on my own end. And so they're going to wind it down. That is the end of the first half. I don't either, Coach, but South High is up 15-6. We will be back. Independence Falcons trailing.
Yeah. On that last play there, as you saw it, Carr, he was going to
clock it.
Yeah, just ground the ball, but did you see the way he took the snap? He went under. He had a knee down on the ground already. So he took the snap. It's like a run play. So the clock continued instead of stopping the clock by throwing the ball into the ground.
Gotcha. I missed it because I was looking at the scoreboard, but nonetheless, that's going to be it for the first half. South High Spartans up 15, Independence Falcons 6.
We are these fields. We are these roots. We see the beauty in the everyday, with pride from where we came. We look ahead, to the places that pull us together, to the places that we call home. A new chapter begins now. Kern Schools Federal Credit Union is now Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your possibilities. Visit valleystrong.com/grow to learn more.
It's wicked cool. It's our new aviation class. It gives kids a chance to break into the industry. There's a lot of careers in aviation. This class is a lot more than just flying planes.
We've learned so much already. We've learned how to take off. We've learned instrument flight rules. It's something everyone can do, I think.
Good. And you see, remember that horizon? Try to keep it parallel to your cockpit.
After the 2-year program, they're going to be able to take the knowledge test for their private pilot exam. I am a pilot. I've been in Bakersfield for 10 years. I worked as an instructor for 6 years and then became a corporate pilot. And I'm a teacher here. We have amazing equipment. Even flight schools don't have that much equipment.
You put a class like this somewhere at North High, and it's really preparing kids to succeed because it gives them a whole new set of opportunities they never knew that they had the chance to pursue. I'm proud to say that I'm from North High School and that we have administration that's willing to put the money into offering really, really neat programs like this and preparing kids to succeed.
A lot of more hands-on activity, a lot more about woodworking and what to do, how to make a career for myself.
This not only for guys. I am actually learning how to make cupboards and put everything together, like doors, cabinets. It's really fun, actually.
Yeah, well, it's really amazing to see their growth over the course of a year and how they can come in with no real skill at all and leave being able to actually produce furniture and cabinetry.
Houses need cabinets, businesses. Having a pool of resources or kids that have some knowledge in the industry would be real good.
Pull down on that. Let's slide these up. Watch fingers.
It's changed a lot. What I'm seeing here is what it's going towards. The CNC equipment, computers. I could actually build cabinets out of this shop. It's state of the art. It really is.
I am constantly looking for students that have been through these programs. It's always nice to have a person that has some experience. It's a lot easier to train. I think we're fortunate in Bakersfield that the Kern High School District has invested in a program like this. I would encourage other businesses to partner up with the Kern High School District like I've done here, because this really shows you what can be done if business comes together with the Kern High School District.
This is where we're going to train the kids to actually get jobs in the industry. We're going to give them the basic tools that they need, also the skills that they need to understand where they fit into the industry.
All the animated things, because we have everything that we need in the scenes.
They are learning the principles of animation, Photoshop. They're learning how to animate in 2D and 3D. And when you swap to that shape, then you're just going to drag these over here.
The storyboard aspect of creating basically the skeleton of the story, and then just sort of directing people in my vision of what I want in the story. And it's also giving me the advantage of Mr. Pollard, since he's worked at so many companies, being able to put it in my resume and be like, this is the art direction I've received.
I was shearing my lamb for fair. I have 2 lambs.
This lamb is stubborn.
Taking care of animals is you feed them twice a day, make sure they have water, walk them, make sure they're ready for fair.
Vet science is the first year before you can actually go into animal science, and it's a lot of like hands-on with the different animals, and you get to learn different things such as giving shots, castrating, all that fun stuff. For me, wanting to be a vet when I'm older, it prepares me. All the stuff that I'm learning in ag is definitely going to help me.
I'm in ag communications. Anything that you see on the Facebook page is what we do, and pictures, and we do all the posters that are around campus, anything that just promotes ag.
Our students are all part of the FFA organization, and through that we have a chapter officer team. We do monthly chapter meetings because we're trying to get them involved outside of class. They can find something that they're interested in, and they need something that's going to hook them so that they're ready for life after high school.
In animal care, the students learn a variety of things, whether it's tools or terms. In the veterinary field, they learn about the skeletal systems, the animal nutrition, the housing, how to properly care for them. They also have the opportunity in the spring to actually go work at a veterinary hospital or at an animal shelter or a grooming and salon.
Animal restraint, weight and temperature, pulse, respiration, all of that I learned here.
They take a state certified test, and if they pass, they become a certified vet assistant right out of high school.
It's always hands-on, and so I think that's what really helps us, is that we're not just getting it from a textbook, we're actually doing these things, and we're actually practicing these things that we'll be doing in our future careers.
It's wicked cool. It's our new aviation class. It gives kids a chance to break into the industry. There's a lot of careers in aviation. This class is a lot more than just flying planes.
We've learned so much already. We've learned how to take off. We've learned instrument flight rules. It's something everyone can do, I think.
Good. And you see, remember that horizon? Try to keep it parallel to your cockpit.
After the 2-year program, they're going to be able to take the knowledge test for their private pilot exam. I am a pilot. I've been in Bakersfield for 10 years. I worked as an instructor for 6 years and then became a corporate pilot. And I'm a teacher here. We have amazing equipment. Even flight schools don't have that much equipment.
You put a class like this somewhere at North High, and it's really preparing kids to succeed because it gives them a whole new set of opportunities they never knew that they had a chance to pursue. I'm proud to say that I'm from North High School and that we have administration that's willing to put the money into offering really, really neat programs like this and preparing kids to succeed.
We're in manufacturing engineering. We design parts, 3D parts, 2D parts, we create assemblies.
It's helping me get training in all of this stuff, like the computer programs that we have here, the machines that we have here. We learn a lot of math in here, mostly geometry and fractions, because I love math. That's why I'm in this class.
Mr. Lemmy, he's a great instructor.
So the problem is this piece itself.
He really goes hands-on with us. He helps us as much as we can. We've learned a lot from him.
Right now we're supplying students that are skilled in the safety, the basic operation of machine work, and then they also leave with some soft skills. They understand they have to be on time. They understand that they have to get up and talk to people. Most of them are walking out of here with a solid foundation in the entry level of a trade.
They can have a job anywhere they go because they have a basic understanding of what it's going to take to put products out that people are going to use.
Hopefully this is a good career for me. You know, end up doing something good, have a good life, and make some money.
Well, we're learning a lot, and especially with just the basic knowledge of what you would need for an entry-level job.
All the basic skills to be a medical assistant in a doctor's office or a clinic.
You're leaning on it, and that'll make a difference.
And then they also do on-the-job training, and they work in doctor's offices or clinics throughout Kern County. The kids are job ready, and many of them are employed before the end of the school year. They're promised a job, as well as they continue their education. We have many registered nurses out there and even physicians.
I'm thinking I want to be an anesthesiologist. So a lot of school, but it'll be worth it in the end. We're learning the different roles, what a game designer is, what they do, and how video games are made, and how to deconstruct them.
We're also going to be teaching the hard skills, which includes learning the Unreal Engine. What the Unreal Engine is it's a game development tool that students will be able to use to make their very own video games. And this is something that actually industry professionals use every day to make some of the top-selling games. They're all the same size. You're all on the same plane. There's no undulating terrain or anything like that.
Our instructor, he's really amazing. He encourages everybody. He's really fun, and he makes learning fun.
So they've got top-of-the-line computers here, and they're set up to excel. I would be surprised if other students their age coming out of high school would have anywhere near the level of expertise that these guys are going to have.
A lot of more hands-on activities, a lot more about woodworking and what to do, how to make a career for myself.
It's not only for guys. I am actually learning how to make cupboards and put everything together, like doors, cabinets. It's really fun, actually.
Yeah, well, It's really amazing to see their growth over the course of a year and how they can come in with no real skill at all and leave being able to actually produce furniture and cabinetry.
Houses need cabinets, businesses. Having a pool of resources or kids that have some knowledge in the industry would be real good.
Pull down on that. Let's slide these up. Watch fingers.
It's changed a lot. What I'm seeing here is what it's going towards. The CNC equipment, computers. I could actually build cabinets out of this shop. It's state of the art. It really is.
I am constantly looking for students that have been through these programs. It's always nice to have a person that has some experience. It's a lot easier to train. I think we're fortunate in Bakersfield that the Kern High School District has invested in a program like this. I would encourage other businesses to partner up with the Kern High School District like I've done here, because this really shows you what can be done if business comes together with the Kern High School District.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to West High School as South High Spartans host the Independent Falcons. South High up 15-6. Independence had an opportunity to try to put something on the board before the half. Got a 4th down and 1 conversion, but fumbled after getting the necessary yardage, which led to South High getting the football back and just kneeling on it. So, Coach Van Horn, I saw you meeting with the great Stephen Lynch. Shout out to my man, Big Lynch, one of the greatest statisticians of all time. Yeah. I call him a walking dictionary. This dude knows everything.
He was on it.
What numbers he get for you, Coach?
Well, he got South High offense, rushed the ball 19 times for 92 yards, and was 5 for 7 throwing the ball for 104 yards. Most of it came on that, there was a 45-yard touchdown pass to Wofford from Carr. Independence, 13 rushes for 93 yards, most of those from Denmark, and 47 of those off Denmark's run in the very first series. And they were 7 for 12 for 57 yards throwing the ball. So that was surprising to me because I didn't think they completed 7 balls that first half.
Wow. I mean, South High to be 5 for 7 in the air is something that you don't expect from them. They don't throw it a lot.
No.
But they've been very successful. And how about Shane Carr coming off the bench for Deshaun Brown, who had the cramps? We saw him go out with cramps on defense. Next series, Shane finally gets some snaps, and he was outstanding.
Well, we talked about before the game, South High had some holes to fill. King Ellis and 2 other all-area players in Hassan Lopez and Tyrone Wilson. So you lose 3 quality players like that, some big holes to fill. But I think South High is going to be okay with Deshaun Brown and Carr running the show.
Absolutely. Offensive line has been fantastic. You know, we talked about Kobe Herron, but the rest of the guys up front, one of the surprises for me was Emmanuel Banuelos.
Yeah.
He's playing fantastic on the defensive side of the football. He has a blocked field goal already, or blocked PAT.
Yeah.
A couple of tackles for a loss. He's been a huge impact player on that South High defense.
Yeah. And we talked about South High getting that last score in the second quarter. They get the ball this second half. So they're hoping that momentum is still carrying over to the second half.
Absolutely. Demarie Wofford, how special has it been to see him play his first South High game?
That's right.
Both sides of the football. Has about 5 tackles. Has the touchdown catch. Avery has the huge jump ball, Randy Moss-style catch down to the 2-yard line. And then you got Prince Ellis getting his touchdown following his big brother's footsteps. Amazing display of talent on South High Spartans side of the football. Kick is up. Second half is in action, and it's taken at the 10. Oh, and he has a hole. Oh, and he might be out of here across the 50 to the 40. He slowed down, and he's taken down at the 12-yard line, but how about that coming out of the half?
That was number 7.
Bryson Karsten.
It's like he got out in the open. He didn't know how to act.
Wow. Yeah, he definitely took the pedal off the metal instead of just cutting back or keeping the juice going.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, 1st and 10 for South, heading south.
I see one of the South High coaches holding up a yellow flag there that was thrown.
Oh, unsportsmanlike conduct. Oh, against South.
Could
was
be a
it dead ball?
Sideline.
Second sideline warning possibly, huh? Wow, to throw that flag on a huge play like that, first play of the second half? Come on, refs. I mean, if that's what it was.
Man, that's a 15-yard. Usually you'll get a warning.
Wow.
What happens, kids get excited, coaches get excited, the referees running up and down.
Come on. I mean, there's a time and place for everything. It's the first play of the second half, and you're throwing a flag for a sideline warning? Wow. 1st and 10, since it was a dead ball foul. And they're going with that jet sweep.
South High still with great field position inside the 30 on this first drive of the second half.
Right, but, you know, Coach, one new honor that I haven't been able to share with you, I've joined the Bob Elias Hall of Fame. And yesterday I joined the board of directors. I had my first meeting, and I'm sitting in there with 2 former officials, Nick Ellis and Jerry Scott. I'm going to have to talk to Nick about that last call, get on his buddies. Quarterback keeps it. He's still on his feet, but that defensive line of the Independence Falcon, I'm telling you, they play some quality football.
I always said a referee with a good flag can gain more yards than an all-pro running back.
Oh, my goodness.
If you're on the right side of that flag.
Right. All right, we're going to lay off the officials a bit, but we still trying to figure it out. Nonetheless.
Well, South High's going to have about a third and a long 7 here.
Right, and you know, and that's the tough thing about penalties like that, because you have this huge play, the momentum's up here, and now all of a sudden the air's out of the balloon, and you're right back to square one. Shotgun and double set for Carr, and he steps back, and he goes with that out. Oh, and it's dropped. That was a nice pass by Carr, and that's going to be incomplete.
That was just a flat-out drop. Who is that?
One thing you highlighted early, Coach, was just how seasoned some of these young quarterbacks look. You know, this is the third quarterback we've seen tonight, and he's actually looking as crispy as some of the number ones.
Yeah.
Shotgun double set. 4th down. Carr scrambles.
He's got to go. He's got to go. I think he's going to get it. He's got the first down.
Shane Carr with the skip in his step. A little skip to my Lou. Extends the play.
That's right.
Man, if you're Deshaun Brown, you're probably like, man, these cramps got me, because this Shane Carr looks like an official starter as a junior.
Yeah. And we haven't seen much of Deshaun Brown back at quarterback after he got those cramps. We see Wofford just come off on the sideline to get a breather, it looks like.
The coach, like you said, once you start getting those cramps, it's hard to shake them, especially this early in the season. 1st and 10 for South High, and they go with that jet sweep again. Nice block outside by the receiver. Gets him an extra 4 yards, and how about the blocking by Avery?
Yeah. Looked like Independence was going to do a good job setting the edge there. But a little head move, bounces it outside and gets outside the edge.
You know, we
gain some yards.
Yeah, we talked about the athletic prowess of all the edge guys that South High has. You refer to it as flash and dash.
Yeah.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. Use what you got. And right now, South High's got more speed than Independence.
Flood route left. Carr looking to throw back. He needs to just get rid of it. And there's some of that youth and immaturity as he moves the pocket to the left. And Coach had me giggling because he said, you got to use what you got. And that's a famous line from Players Club. You got to use what you got to get what you want. And what South High wants is more points. And they're doing a great job staying on the edge. Even that play that was incomplete, they're continuing to move the pocket.
Yeah.
And roll things left and right instead of staying inside.
And Carr showing some maturity rather than just taking off because he didn't see anything. He kind of waited for some things to develop and finally just threw it away.
Absolutely. Looking very mature.
Yeah. So it brings up about a 3rd and 7 here.
Low snap.
And now he's going to run it.
Carr with the leap for the first down. That's going to be 1st and goal. Shane Carr looking like a seasoned veteran.
That might have been a call from the sideline before. You know, he had the edge, but he was looking to pass. Again, Independence doesn't set the edge, and Coach Mills says, hey, if it's there, run it.
It's amazing how quick he gets up the field once he makes that decision, though, Coach. He's definitely looking very comfortable.
Well, he's got some good size. Looks like he's about 5'11", 6 foot. Got a good stride. And he's got some good open field speed.
8:06 to play. 1st and goal. Carr to drop back, and they're going flood right, and that's going to be complete for the touchdown. And is that number 2?
I can't tell who it is. He's coming to the sidelines.
Prince Ellis. I thought it was 2. It's number 3.
That's his second touchdown.
Second touchdown of the night, Coach. He only needs 5 more to catch up with his brother's output from last season. And, hey, it's early in the second half. You never know. 21-6, South High, and they're lining up for the field goal. Kick is up.
And it's good.
Kick is good, and they are starting to feel themselves here at West High, where South High is hosting the Independent Falcons. And one of the things that was interesting, Coach, when you had the one-on-one with Stephen Lynch, he talked about how well-oiled they looked from an independent standpoint in that first drive, and now it's just nothing.
Yeah. Well, most of that first half yardage, Stephen Lynch said, all but 47 yards came from Denmark.
Absolutely.
And South High's done a good job shutting him down.
Yeah, credit to Coach Mills. Not letting one person beat him.
Yeah.
Because the way that Denmark looked on that first drive, he came out looking like a young Charlie Ward, doing whatever he wanted, inside and out. And I guess they saw something upstairs and were like, hey, we got to figure this out. They don't have anything else.
Throwing your Florida State guys out there, huh?
Oh, yeah. I told you I was a Noles fan. Rest in peace, Coach Bobby Bowden.
Oh, man.
As we get the season started.
Charlie Ward, what was he, 92 Heisman winner?
Absolutely. Went on to play for the New York Knicks.
Yeah, also point guard in the NBA.
Oh, and South with the surprise onside kick. Nice call. Falcons weren't expecting it. Bounces off one guy. But they'll have some good field position.
Yeah, I think if you're Independence, you got to go back to your guy. We're going to see a lot of Peeker this second half. I think he's a guy you're going to see some stalker catching the ball, but you're going to see a lot more Peeker than we did in that first half because, he was an all-area kid coming back from last year. Tough runner, has made some good plays, had a nice long touchdown run called back because of a hold.
And that's a great point, Coach. You would expect to see a lot more Tucker and Peeker option looks, and that's exactly what you see.
Yeah.
From that first snap, so great assessment.
So I think you're going to see a lot more Peeker. How would you like to be a player from last year, that short season? They picked 48 all-area first-team guys.
Right.
48.
Right. Lucky you.
Yeah. If you didn't make all-area, someone was,
Right.
You must have had COVID the whole year. 8 of those were quarterbacks.
Wow. Well, I was fortunate to be one of those first-team all-area guys because of you.
Back in the day when they only picked 11 on defense,
Great pursuit by the South High defense. They're trying to do exactly what you said, Coach, and mix it up a little bit with the read option looks. But South High's defense is just playing above expectations tonight. Second and about 15 for Independence, and nothing appears to be lightening the load as they go trips open with this pistol formation. Uh-oh, and it looks like we're going to have let's see what we got here. Oh. It looks like a South High defensive end may have been lined up in the neutral zone. And that's what you don't want to do when you got a team on the heels. It's give them free yards.
That brings up a 2nd and 10 for Independence. A little bit more manageable.
And they definitely have the athletes and capabilities. We saw an amazing run from Beaker as he gets the first down on that 12-yard carry.
Peeker's had his best success just running right up the A gap there.
Very tough, strong runner. His feet never stops moving in the middle of the tackles. 6:36 remaining to play. South High with a comfortable 22-6 lead, dancing on the sidelines and enjoying themselves. But one strike right here will make it a very interesting second half. Trips open set for Denmark. Nice job moving his head.
Oh,
my goodness. And everybody's probably saying, what are you talking about, moving your head? He went through 3 reads that quick and almost came back to his third option underneath and just missed him barely by a yard. But great vision for some of these young quarterbacks.
Yeah. 2nd and 10 here. This is not a throwaway down. You got to get something out of this. You got to get.
And that's what we saw early. Denmark making plays with his feet. Whoa. Oh, and that's going to be a late hit, even though it was somewhat contact made while they were still on the field. It's just one of those situations where you want to kind of lay off of him, but that's definitely going to be 15 as he was hit to the track.
And that's going to be a 15. That's going to put the ball inside the 20. Independence gets the score here. They're back in the game. They're back in the game.
Absolutely, because you expect them to go for 2 to try to make up for that missed PAT early. If they get that, it puts them right back in position for an opportunity to tighten this game up in the fourth quarter. Shotgun double set, pistol formation. And South is bringing the heat, and they do not keep coming. And they get lucky. Nice job by Denmark getting up the field because he saw that defensive end sitting there ready to come.
Yeah. He had Peaker swinging. South High did a good job taking him away. And again, Denmark, he's been in their whole offense.
And he's probably saying to himself, look, guys, I tried to give you all opportunity, but, hey, we got to get back to what worked early. End around. Nice job by Independence coming out and answering the score. Touchdown with 5:20 remaining in the third quarter. And we got a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen.
I think so. 22-12.
That's a play that looked familiar against us 20 years ago, that end around from that wing formation. So hard to stop, but great job by Anthony Rico, the junior.
Independence going for 2 here. They're chasing the points.
Absolutely. You definitely want to try to make it a one-score game.
They're in the heavy set here. They got Big 80 in the backfield now.
And they go right to Peaker, and I don't know if he got it, Coach.
I don't think he got it. He's got it.
And he does not. Great job by the South High defense, because now it makes it a 2-score game instead of that one-possession game.
Yeah.
Huge stop.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
How big was that missed PAT, Coach?
Early in the season, the one phase of your game that's always going to be lacking is going to be special teams. Especially on schools that don't carry big rosters and usually don't have great kickers.
Right, and I reflect back to our years as players. You were our special teams coach as well as our running backs and DBs coach. You always stressed the importance of us making sure we knew not to take plays off during the special teams. It's one of the biggest components of the game.
Yeah.
And that's why we were all so hyped. We were starters playing special teams. A lot of schools, when we played in that era, didn't play their starters on special teams. They gave other players an opportunity to play.
Yeah.
We had our best players on the field for special teams. $5:20 to play. Kenny Calvin and Rick Van Horn, joined by producer-director Julian Wilson. Special thanks to South High Administration, Principal Connie Grumling, Assistant Principal Jose Porter, Brian Smith, Dean Michael Horde, Athletic Director Dante Borodori, Activities Director Cecilia Pulido, and our team over at the Kern High Network and Kern High School District, Stan Green and the superintendents, as well as our Valley Strong Credit Union sponsor. We are at South High hosting Independence via West. Oh, and we got some speed on the outside. That's across the 50. One man to beat. He cuts it back. Oh! And it looks like he lost the ball. Oh, that amazing run. Recovered by South High. One man to beat.
Marco Avery.
Well, I'm telling you, my little cousin got skates.
He's the one that got the big catch in the first half.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But that's our first time actually seeing some of that 100-meter speed that he won the Valley with over the spring.
Well, you saw it coming there about the 50-yard line. He hit fourth gear.
Oh, yes, he did. Yes, he did. Speed runs in his family. His grandfather My late cousin, Mr. Avery, was a world-class hurdler in Pomona. Rest in peace to my big Cuddy. But his dad, Maurice Avery, also has some speed. But his grandpa, James Avery, is where all that juice came from. First and 10 for the South High Rebels, and it seems like those athletes are starting to show up, Coach. We talked about it. You talked about it earlier, flash and dash, getting to the edge, making plays. We talked about the history of their athletes. Wenzel Lynn, Rodney Wright, you know, some of the spectacular talent that they had last year in King Ellis. It looks like they're not far off that track in this first game.
Yeah. They have the potential to get there and compete in that D3.
Absolutely. Stack D3. Because
you're talking about, you look at the teams, and they're Bakersfield Christian. We don't know what they've got, but
nice pursuit.
You know, I look at a team that stands out there. You know, you've got South, you've got Highland, who's in that D3. We don't know what Kingsburg's got. They're usually pretty good. And you really don't know what we get from those coastal teams. Atascadero is in there, Napomo.
Right.
Pioneer Valley, San Luis Obispo.
Absolutely. There's going to be some quality teams coming out of that coast to challenge them in that D3 Central Section playoff run. So it's good to get these kind of wins out of the way because Independence definitely is showing that they're not a pushover. And South High is just playing a little bit better right now.
Oh, he's got him wide open in the middle of the field.
Oh, Shane. Oh, nice hit.
And we're going to probably have a hold here against South High.
You know, I think that may have been the reason why he didn't go ahead and try to take that strike, because he saw the flag already and didn't want a chance of an interception. Go ahead and reset. Nonetheless, Coach saw it first. It was going to be holding. That's going to back him up 10 yards, making it about a 2nd and 22 for South High. But
well, and you really don't know how South High's practice. You know, Deshaun Brown, who started the game, probably took most of the reps in practice. You probably didn't figure. You probably had some plays for Shane Carr, not expecting him to be in this early. So next week, Coach Mills will go back to the drawing board, have to modify his playbook to set it up to fit Shane Carr's skills.
I definitely like what I'm seeing out of Carr, but like we said early, as we see another false start, when you change quarterbacks, you change cadence. Offensive line been practicing with one guy all summer, and now you got a new voice back there, and that's why you have some of these kind of penalties. And that great field position is disappearing. (22-12), 3:45 remaining to play in the third quarter. Wide splits here suggest run. Or they go swing route to the other side, and a nice job by Prince. And you see that speed when they get to the edge.
Yeah.
I'd love to see their 4x1 relay.
That's going to give them about a third and it's about a 20, 25.
Right.
What do you think? 22 yards, 3rd and 22.
You know, and what's funny about saying that was Prince Ellis, I can't see the number, but I see the speed.
Yeah.
And you can kind of tell that mentality. You know, he definitely looks like his brother when he's moving like that.
This is definitely a 2-down zone, so they've got 2 downs to gain 22 yards here.
Carr rolling right, and another holding call. Whoa. And how about some tough running from Shane Carr? And now we got another flag, and it might be a face mask at the end of that.
So we're going to have a hold on one side, maybe a face mask on the other. You know, Shane Carr reminds me of a kid at a Highland a couple years ago, A.J. Johnson. A.J. Johnson, who went on to play Fresno State. But Carr moves like A.J. did.
Penalties will offset. They'll replay that third down. Like Coach said, this is 2-down territory because, you know, at this level, you rarely see kickers who can consistently make that 40-yard field goal, which that will probably be from that distance.
Like I said, this is going to be a two-down zone for them.
(22-12).
They've got to get down to about the 3-yard line for a first down.
All right, and they have that opportunity. Shotgun double set for Shane Carr. You'll see if the coaches draw something up for him to get the football off, but great pressure off the edge. And now you got Shane extending the play again, making another man miss, and look at the speed. Oh, my goodness. Amazing effort. Gets it down to a makeable fourth down opportunity.
Oh, looks like they're going to kick it.
Absolutely, because it puts them in a position for that makeable kick, as you said.
And it's something that you want to find out how good your kicker is.
Absolutely. With this amount of a lead, you got a 10-point lead.
Let's give him a shot.
Give him a shot.
Find out early if we're in his range or out of his range.
Absolutely. You know, and that's one thing I do know about kickers. The more they kick, the better they get. You know, got to give them opportunity with live game action. So we'll see what this one is. Kick is up.
I think it's good. No,
kick is no good.
Definitely had the distance.
So the 27-yard field goal is no good. Independence dodges a huge blow and will still be down only 2 possessions with 1:16 remaining to play. Setting them up for an interesting opportunity because they played very well in that last drive to get that score. They didn't come away with the PAT, but nonetheless, they're still in this game if they can find a way to capitalize on this drive.
On the other hand, South High's done a good job. They're still keeping Independence at bay with a 2-score lead. And when we mean 2-score, we need 2 touchdown lead.
Absolutely. Single high safety. Oh, Peaker makes 1 miss, makes 2 miss. But great pursuit by South High. And look at that penetration. Oh, and it looks like we have a Spartan down grabbing his knee. And that's never a good sign, I know personally. So we will take a quick break with 55 seconds remaining to play in the third quarter and come back with more Kern High Network football right after this.
We are these fields. We are these roots. We see the beauty in the everyday, with pride from where we came. We look ahead, to the places that pull us together, to the places that we call home. A new chapter begins now. Kern Schools Federal Credit Union is now Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your possibilities. Visit valleystrong.com/grow to learn more.
All right, we are back. The young man who was injured, we'll try to get that number for you, but he ran off on his own power, and that's always good news. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Independence Falcons, looking to get back into this football game that South High has pretty much dominated since the first quarter. Trips open set, and they're rolling right again. Wheel route, and he has a step. A man to beat, and this call. Oh, and he can't stay on his feet. But amazing catch and pass. And that's going to be complete at the 37-yard line.
Anthony Rico. Nice catch. If he would have stayed on his feet, that's 6.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Amazing design. And we said wheel route. Let's explain to them what that wheel route is, Coach.
Inside receivers kind of switch, and here we go with. And we're going to have a hold against Independence.
Well, we don't even have the chain set either, which is an issue because we definitely have to get the chain set up before the play is snap.
I'm surprised they didn't blow that one dead.
Right, and it definitely works against Independence as you're trying to get some tempo going, but ultimately you just had one of the biggest plays that you've had all game. Slow down. You're back in it. You're rushing, and you rush to a mistake, and now you put yourself back behind the chains against a good South High defense.
Now you've got a first and about 25. Independence did a little something different there. They rolled out that time instead of staying in the pocket and threw that fade. Before they were staying in the pocket.
Oh, and now the ball's on the ground. Talk about when things get tough. Wow.
Now they're going to have a 3rd and 30.
And I want to say they're right back around the original line of scrimmage before the wheel route. You know, it's one of those things that you somewhat notice from young teams. You're so anxious to make another big play that you're rushing when you should just calm down and realize that, okay, we're back in this thing. Let's take it one play at a time.
Yeah.
But you got the quick snap that they did in first down with the holding call, backs them up 10. Now you try to go with the read option RPO stuff, getting too fancy in there. And you got a fumble that takes you back another 7 yards. So now it's 2nd and 37.
Yeah.
When you had an opportunity to basically be 2 plays from the red zone if you just take your time and focus on taking it one snap at a time.
That's right. That's right.
So we have an injured South High Rebel.
Well, I think they got the cramp bug on the South High side.
Absolutely.
So that's something Coach Mills is going to have to address come next week.
You know, it's tough.
Basically, it comes down to you guys aren't eating right.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
It's not, it's not like you're out of shape. That's not the problem. It's like.
Absolutely. You know, and that's one of the things that's tough too, Coach. Just trying to get back to normal of your diet.
Yeah.
Going back to a full day of school. You're one of our most tenured teachers in the district. Just thinking about the rigors of getting kids up at 7 in the morning on their feet all day. Some of them skipping lunch.
Yeah. And in that heat, where most of them have practiced early in the morning. Most teams now are going in the mornings and during that preseason where it's 80 degrees.
Absolutely. So,
and on the other hand, you see Independence, who hasn't had any cramps, so they've been stressing that.
Right. So this is the start of fourth quarter action, ladies and gentlemen. And it'll be the Independence Falcons with a 2nd and forever. I don't have my calculator to add that up. But they'll get 5 of it back from the Spartans.
Well,
trips open set for Denmark. Oh, and he's out of band. Oh, nice job getting his head around by the DB.
That's about the first time that they've done a good job getting that safety help on top.
Absolutely. Great job by the coaches upstairs. You know, and you have Shane Carr making plays on the other side of the football. And this is a testament to what we talked about. This is not a one-man team anymore. You know, last year it very well had that mystique, you know, with such a dominant player.
Right.
You know, they have a quality group of guys on South High's football team tonight. I'm very impressed. You know, we have a timeout.
Yeah, just like you said, you know, there's Deshaun Brown making plays, Shane Carr, Wofford making plays. the long kickoff off from number 7.
Absolutely. You have Bryson
and then
Carson.
Still have Avery.
And Avery may be the most explosive player on their team based on the fact that he's the fastest track guy that they have on their team.
Yeah.
You know, I was fast, but I didn't have that juice like they had. They got those extra gears. I was just fast. Some of these dudes are lightning fast, man. I played with some fast guys. You know, top 3 fastest players I ever played with. Steve, of course.
Well, you had right off the bat during that era, you had 3 of the fastest, with Steve being probably 3rd in that group.
Right.
Marcus Hollowell.
Absolutely.
Won the state in the 100-meter.
As a sophomore. And this was his field. Can't talk about a West High football field without talking about
Then you
Marcus
had another
Hollowell.
kid, Brian Howard.
Wow.
You know, who was a freshman at Bakersfield High before he transferred to Canyon Springs down there, but he won the 100.
Absolutely.
In the state 100.
Went on to run for the USA Olympic track team.
So
another West High Viking. 3rd and forever. Oh, and South High with the great pursuit.
Great job by South High. I didn't hear a whistle on that. I'm surprised. Now, were they bringing?
Well, it looked like they had a screen called on Coach how fast that defensive line got back there.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, it's going to be 4th and forever. And just think, it was 2nd and short.
Yeah.
It was 2nd and about.
Well, that was after that big play.
Well, after the big play.
Rico.
Yes.
Yeah. So they had a first down, about on the 30.
They get the holding call.
Yeah.
Then they get the fumble.
Here they come.
And then they get a okay kick that takes a South High bounce. And that's just how the ball has bounced for Independence tonight. You know, because you definitely expected them to try to do something with that last drive. But, Coach, one thing we talked about is how impressive this South High defense has been. They keep stepping up to the plate. As soon as it seems like Independence is fighting their way back in it, the door is being closed. It's going to be first and 10.
Think about this. Independence closed their own door in this last drive.
Absolutely. You know, and it's tough as broadcasters because we're definitely not rooting for anybody. We call it how we see it. You know, and what's funny about that, we've had some games where at the end of the night, people who are at home forget that, hey, we're just calling it how we see it. But right now, I see a South High team pounding. And, oh, my goodness. How about the run by Shane Carr? Wow. Our first truck stick of the game.
That looked like number 8.
Oh, that was Avery. I'm getting my 8s and 9s mixed up. But how about Avery finishing the run, running back style? Wow. Oh, my goodness. He has speed and power.
Well, you might see another fly sweep going the other way here.
Wow, and I'll tell you what, Coach, I need some glasses. I've been in denial. Nonetheless, they go back with that counter tray, and that stopped for no gain. But these numbers on these jerseys are already tough. But I'm going to just go ahead and be honest. I need glasses.
I want to know how that PA announcer in the booth is. He must have binoculars.
Oh, yeah, and a spotter. Yeah. That's what we don't have.
Yeah.
.943 remaining to play. South High with a 10-point lead over Independence with 12. And South has 22. You know, Independence has had some opportunities. They let them squander away.
Yeah, big Brian Ochoa in the backfield there. So you might see a pass here. He might be in there for some added protection. Nope, he's going to block.
Old Iron Horse QB sweep. Big Ochoa is wide as all outside. I wish I had some weights on this roster. But very impressed with Shane Carr's ability to come in and not overdo it. He's not doing too much, taking what he can get. And that time he took 3 yards, and as we know, 3 yards in a cloud of dust means a first down.
That's right. 3 times 4 is 12. You only need 10 for a first down.
Third and 7. And there's that jet sweep motion pursuit. Oh, Shane Carr getting loose, and he escapes.
He's got a wide. He's got somebody downfield.
Yeah, but he has too much in his face, and he fights to get back to the line of scrimmage. Amazing job by the Independence defensive line trying to get to him, but that's the athletic ability of Carr.
It's going to bring up a 4th down.
And right here at the 50, you know, it may be one of those situations where you're like, hey, guys, do we want to put him away? It's 4th and about 6. It's not a gimme.
Yeah. This is a time. I think he's going to use the clock, wait till the last second, maybe even take the penalty and get his punt team in there.
And I would definitely punt it because my defense is playing pretty well. Still got a 2-score game. You know, if you pin them right here.
Yeah. So they're going to. Call timeout. Use the clock. Which 7:28 left in the 4th quarter.
And I gave him a tough time about calling the timeout before a punt in the first half, but it was different circumstances. You don't want to lose any more yardage here because you definitely want to try to pin them. And I seriously doubt if your punter is punting more than 50 to 60 yards at this level.
Yeah, you got to bring that down to about 30, 35 yards.
Absolutely. So it'll be 4th and 7. Nope, 4th and 6. Also may be a good opportunity for you to try that fake punt you've been working on all summer. But, you know, with a 10-point lead, you don't want to start getting greedy.
And Independence offense, other than that first drive to start the game and the first drive out of the second half, they haven't done much.
Right, so punting would be the great decision. So we'll see what happens. 7:28 remaining to play on the Kern High Network. Special thanks to Valley Strong Credit Union for being our headline sponsor. Kern High School District Superintendents and our boss Stan Green, as well as the South High administration for their hospitality, but definitely have to give a shout out to the West High staff as well for allowing South High to use their beautiful field. I've never lost on this thing. Nice high punt, and it definitely takes an Independence bounce. And that's one of those punts where it really makes you feel like you should have went for it.
You were talking about 50 to 60. I cut it down to 35. That was a 15-yard punt.
And it ends up 15. You know, so.
We were giving that guy a lot of credit.
Right. You know, like you said, though, South High's defense has played a solid game. Haven't got much output out of anyone on the Independent side of the football other than Denmark and Peaker. You know, and Peaker's definitely had a nice game from a standpoint of just getting what he can get.
And he's a kid that he doesn't get going until about that 18 to 20 carry game a game. You know, he's a tough kid. He's going to get you yardage throughout the year.
Amazing job by South High being prepared for the screen, but they missed the tackle, and Peaker right on cue. It's a huge gain after he makes one man miss, and that power that you just referred to is present on that play, Coach.
Yeah. That could have been – Wofford had him in the line of scrimmage. And that's another talk they're going to have when they get home tonight.
Right.
That big play could have been negated by just a tackle. Didn't even have to be a good tackle.
All right, and you definitely could have just stayed in his way and stay on your feet.
Yeah.
I always tell guys, hey, man, a man on the ground is a dead man. You got to keep your feet as a DB. We're the last line of defense, and that's a prime example of that as Denmark keeps it on that first down carry.
Well, yeah, we're talking about Peeker. The more he gets the ball throughout the game, he's one of those kids that gets warmed up the more you give him the ball.
Man, that was a perfect presentation because right as you said it, he was bottled up with 4 jerseys in front of him, makes one man miss, breaks another tackle, and ends up 40 yards down the sideline, and that's nothing but toughness, individual effort. Trips open set.
Yeah.
Quick screen. Oh, and that's going to be a horse collar. And that's the first carry in forever.
Yeah. And now things are looking to change a little bit. Independence is going to have the ball inside the 10 maybe here. 6 minutes left. You get a touchdown here. Onside, you're back in the game.
Absolutely. And, you may not even have to go onside if you can get a score within the next 2 plays.
Yeah.
I'd say, if you get this score in before 4:30, you may have an opportunity to try to punt it and see if you can play some defense and get a stop. But you may want to go ahead and kick that onside because the South High's offense has been pretty consistent. So we'll see how this plays out.
Like you said with Buñuelos, blocking that extra point early on, that may come back to haunt Independence.
Absolutely. And we got Denmark, and he has some room. And he decides to throw it, and he had about 15 yards of daylight on the outside, and he's going to regret that.
Yeah.
And that might have been the throw that will cost them the game if they can't get in.
Yeah, he had some running room there.
2nd and goal for Independence. And they've been down here before. We'll see if it works out.
Have 2 similar quarterbacks like Denmark and the South High quarterbacks. One thing is you got to keep them in the pocket.
That option is smelt out right away. And you make a great point, too, Coach.
You got to keep him in the pocket, and South High defense has been letting Denmark get outside the pocket and do what he does best. Same thing is Independence not keeping Carr in the pocket, and then where he's made his big runs have been outside the pocket.
Absolutely. It's just something about an athlete getting to the edge.
That's right.
Feeling more comfortable with the option of throwing and running.
Out in the space, they're very good.
Absolutely.
In a phone booth, they're not.
3rd and goal from about the 13, maybe 14-yard line. Trips open set. And that field shrinking for Independence may work against them. And it looks like pressure is coming right now. Oh, and indeed it is, and they miss. Nice job by Denmark making a miss. And that's a situation where as you're coming in as the blitzing outside backer or DB, one of the things you have to do is speed your feet because you know that the guy's going to make a move.
Yeah.
You're running in there out of control. You have to be willing to break down.
Yeah.
And that's why you miss those tackles.
This is going to bring up a 4th and goal. So Independence cannot get a first down here. They have to get a touchdown.
All right, we have a timeout on the field. We'll take a quick break and give our sponsors an opportunity for some air and be right back with more Kern High Network football.
We are these fields. We are these roots. We see the beauty in the everyday, with pride from where we came. We look ahead, to the places that pull us together, to the places that we call home. A new chapter begins now. Kern Schools Federal Credit Union is now Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your possibilities. Visit valleystrong.com/grow to learn more.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, live at West High as South High holds on to a 10-point lead with 4:40 remaining to play versus the Independence Falcons. Independence with a 4th and goal. This may be the football game for them if they can't get in. Kenny Calvin and Rick Van Horn on the call.
4th and goal.
Denmark drop back to pass. Ochoa inside it. Ochoa with the sack, and that is going to be the huge. I told you, I can't recognize numbers. I just saw how wide he was and knew it was Ochoa, but that's a huge sack for Ochoa.
That was.
South High defense stepping up right on time, Coach.
I don't know if we haven't confirmed whether he's related to Troy or not, have we?
Well, I'm going to say he is as tough as he looks. And there's not that many Ochoas in town anyway. So we're going to go ahead and adopt him into the Troy Ochoa family since Troy is the GOAT of South High football. I'm just going ahead and say that. Troy Ochoa is the most outstanding football player that I played against in those days as a Rebel. But you got a guy named King Ellis that might think otherwise, man. That dude was fantastic.
And here he is. Here's Ochoa. Rumbling, bumbling Ochoa. This might be their 4-minute offense here. Give him a big dose of 21 there.
Absolutely. And, man, if you are watching this game on live stream and you look at Ochoa, he has to be about 5'8". I want to say about 265 the way he's moving.
I don't know if he's that big, but he's got to be. He hasn't missed many meals.
2nd and 5. We have movement. They get away with it. And that's going to be very close to another first down, but maybe a couple yards short.
South High using that clock. That clock is running, 3:43. They got a 3rd down at about a long one here. Independence calls timeout.
You know, so one of the things we used to do pre-COVID was give our Kern High Network player of the game. We kind of got away from that because we can't go and be as up close and personal with the teams, but we can still talk about some of the impact players that we have. So, Coach, who's been some of the highlight impact players for you on both sides of the ball?
Well, you know, you've got the obvious. You got Shane Carr coming out. You have Avery, who hasn't touched the ball a whole lot, but when he did, he made some plays. Sean Brown, early on, when he was in there at quarterback, made a couple plays. Ochoa comes up with a big sack. Buenuelos playing well on defense.
Absolutely.
On the other side, you've got Denmark, who's been pretty much all their offense, throwing and running. Peekers come on and had his spots. So
it's a nice list. 3rd and short. It's a big first down opportunity for South, because if you don't get this, you got to kick the ball right back. And I've seen stranger things happen with 3 minutes less in the football game. You don't want to just kick it back to a football team thinking that it's over. And you got,
I think he got the first down.
Shane Carr stepping up big time. You know, so with that play, I'll talk about some of the guys that definitely came out and surprised me. I didn't think that they were going to have the kind of impact they had.
Right.
Prince Ellis. I mean, huge shoes to fill. Nobody thinks you're going to come in and follow your brother's footsteps and get 2 touchdowns in your opening game.
Then you had Wofford made a couple plays.
Absolutely.
But I think narrowing it down, Shane Carr, who wasn't expected
to
That's play huge. Quarterback as much as he did.
I'm also say this too, Coach. The South High offensive line. How about the job they've done controlling the line of scrimmage in the second half? getting some of the tough, hard yards and some of these second and third and shorts to keep the chains moving too. Amazing job overall. And the Independence defensive line played a heck of a football game, keeping them with opportunities to try to get back in the football game, because it hasn't been a lot of spectacular play from their specialty guys on the edge. I haven't seen any huge plays from their secondary. I haven't seen any huge plays from their linebackers. But their defensive line has done a great job stopping the run in moments to get the ball back to their offense. They just haven't been able to capitalize on those opportunities.
That's right.
So 1:56 remaining to play, and it looks like it's going to be night-night for the Spartans as they defeat these Independence Falcons. Oh, and we have a cut block back here.
Couple things there. Deshaun Brown back in the game. Looks like he's going to be the Wildcat quarterback here to run this clock out. Should have stayed in bounds. But then you had an illegal.
Yeah, looked
what
like
they
a
call?
Looked like a clip back near the 29-yard line. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a regular hold. Oh, and we did have that clip, Coach. It was a clip back there. So both of those plays are going to be against the South High offense, which works in their favor too, because it just gives them another down to run more clock.
So got a minute 39 left.
But definitely a great matchup. It was a better game than the scoreboard dictates.
Yeah.
Independence came out smoking. I actually thought that they were going to be able to carry that momentum.
Well, you got to figure, from last year, Independence coming off that 4-1. Well, actually, 4-1. They lost their last game against West. West kind of stepped up and upset them.
Yeah, and West, speaking of West, they lost one of their weapons, Dalen Leach, who ended up going across town. And now, since it's the last couple of the minutes of the game, we're seeing some of the sloppiest football we've seen. I guess these kids aren't used to being up at 11 at night.
Well, these are the type of things that when you have an inexperienced quarterback is, watching that back judge there, who happens to be Munson. So when that clock starts getting close, you'll see his arm going, and that's when you want to snap the ball and keep that clock running.
All right.
But as the season goes on, he gets more snaps. He'll become more of a true quarterback.
Absolutely. Nonetheless, with huge face mask. Wow. And that's usually one of those kind of tackles that causes some little extracurricular activities because, hey, man, it's 1 minute left and you grabbing my head like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they're going to get the 15 yards back, South High is.
It's going to be automatic first down, and now we're going to see some knees being taken with just above 1 minute left to play. So, ladies and gentlemen.
Independence has only one timeout left, so you take a couple knees here, get out of here with a nice victory, start gearing up for next week.
Well, it's definitely been an exciting game. We've seen some exciting plays. I'm going to say my play of the day.
Your player of the game or your play of the game?
No, my play of the day.
Okay.
Is going to have to be that jump ball that was down here thrown.
With Avery?
With Avery. Even though it wasn't a score, that play is kind of what separated the game because they went in to score their second touchdown, and there was no looking back after that. It's not just because he's my little cousin.
My number 3, Prince Ellis. Picked up by number 18, Braden.
38 seconds remaining to play.
That's going to be Independence's last timeout, so South High can come out here and take a knee and go to the house.
Absolutely. It's been a fantastic night up on the hill, or up in the booth with my first defensive back coach from our driller days, Rick Van Horn, and my newfound big bro, Dr. Julian Wilson. I've had the honor of working alongside these gentlemen as broadcast journalists over the last few years. You know, it's definitely an honor to be here with you guys. I don't want to get emotional or nothing like that, but just to be back, you know, it definitely gives me goosebumps to know that we had this opportunity tonight, no matter what tomorrow holds. You know, I appreciate working with you guys.
Always a pleasure.
You know, once again, we want to thank our team over at Kern High Network and the Kern High School District Superintendents. Stan the Man Green, quarterback of the 1988 undefeated national champion Renegades. Valley Strong Credit Union for being our sponsor. South High Administration, Principal Connie Grumling, Assistant Principals Jose Porter and Brian Smith, Dean Michael Horde, Athletic Director Dante Boradori, and Activities Director Cecilia Polito. I am Kenny Calvin, joined with Rick Van Horn, Dr. Julian Wilson, and that last snap, ladies and gentlemen, will be the first victory of the season and of the career for the South High Spartans.
It is. That is.
So, Coach, anything you want to leave the people with?
No. Nice early game. Good matchup. We thought we were going to have a tough game. We did. 22-12. Two good programs on the rise, Independence and South High. So I think the South High team's is lost King Ellis, but I think they've got some replacements to take his place, and is going to take him deep into the playoffs.
Absolutely. You heard it here first. Kenny Calvin, Rick Van Horn, Dr. Julian Wilson, Kern High Network Football. We want to thank everybody that tuned in. South High takes out the Independence Falcons 22-12, live from West High. We'll see you next week.